A couple of days ago, I sat down, well, stood up, to play Bonelab for the first time. I told myself I'd take my time with the campaign because it truly wowed me. And then 2 days later, I was sitting at the end credits. Safe to say this game is a VR masterpiece, but it's not without its flaws. I think that these flaws come from the level design of some, not all, of the levels in the game. So we're going to go over each of them today and I'll give you my opinions on each. Also, it is slightly late, but I just want to say thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. This is just a nuts number. 1,000 of us, that's like 800 people. And it's just incredible. I never thought I'd hit this number, and I am ecstatic, and it's all because of you guys, so thank you so much. Anyway, on with level 1. Okay, psych, we're not onto level 1 yet, because level 0.5 is here, and that's just talking about the music, because by God, is the soundtrack of this game incredible. Just listen to this. Anyway, onto the real level 1. I've talked about this one a little in my last video, but this serves as a great introduction to the world of Bonelab and sets a great contrast between its liminal spaces with the fantasy setting you start out with. Some simple puzzle solving and the use of interaction make this a clean and quick intro to what you're getting into. It also introduces these fuckheads. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Anyway, the level ends in a spectacular way and sets the stage really, really well. Also gonna gloss over this one a little bit because I talked about it in my last video, go watch that if you haven't. But it works as a great way to let the player explore different worlds and modes, even if I don't like the minigame to get out of the area. And when I did complete the minigame, the game broke and didn't let me out anyway. Besides that, this isn't really a level, it's just a hub for different areas, so I don't really want to comment on it too much. But it serves its purpose and it serves it well. Level 3 throws you into some more combat situations and combines it with puzzle solving and introduces you to a few more enemy types. For example, to get past these two turrets at the end of this corridor, you're supposed to block their gunfire with a bin lid, or a trash can lid if you're American. Anyway, since I have a huge brain, I picked up the bin itself and did it that way. My genius knows no bounds. This wasn't the intended way that the level was really meant to be played, but it highlights an ingenious part of Bonelab, which is its versatility. You can approach levels in basically any way you want. However, it does mean that you can sometimes break the game's physics to advance, as I'm pretty sure I wasn't meant to open this door this way, but whatever. And that's definitely not how I was supposed to do that, but I've done it. Aside from this, level 3 throws in some great looking environments at you, with some decent enemy placements while ramping up the puzzle solving just a little to amount to a solid third chapter of the game. Alright, on to the first frustrating level. Now this one isn't too bad because it's short, and in theory it should be fine. Good, even. But it highlights a problem that I think is only native to the PC version of the game, and that is... sitting down is fucked. Seriously, this one takes you through an amazing looking abandoned mineshaft, but I can't appreciate any of it because when I sit without touching anything, my camera, which is permanently attached to my head by the way, does this. Oh, no, let me out. Let me out, this nightmare. When I stood up, the issue was resolved, which fixes it but breaks immersion as my character is sitting down when I'm not. Visually though, this is a stunning level with some great music and great lighting, and it's a short one, so on to level 5, this one's fine. Level 5 cranks the liminal space vibe up to 11 and then throws you into a Matrix-like corridor where you akimbo murder about 17 people. It's got some really cool Metal Gear Solid vent sequences combined with this clean white aesthetic, and it seems like you're doing really, really well and stealthing through the level. Then this happens. Ten out of 10 would do it again. This level is doing so well for itself, and then it throws you into a tunnel designed for Satan, full of these fucking things. Dickhead. Anyway, it ends with the biggest mindfuck of the whole game, seeing a 200-foot tall Jimmy Wong standing in front of you. Now, I am a fan of VGHS, but I think this is a bit much, even for me. Anyway, great level, really enjoyed it. It's sequences like this that make me feel like a ninja, make me panic, make me get into big shootouts, and then mess with your head at the end. It's a perfect mix. Street Puncher might just be the best level of the game, because it's a full-on melee combat chaos brawl. Take on your fellow man and assault him with a baseball bat, or a hammer, or knives, or a gun, because I missed the obvious and conveniently placed a katana on the wall. There's not much else to really say about this one, other than it's swish, swish, stab. And to be honest, I wouldn't have it any other way. Video game perfection. It even ends with you murdering your office worker boss at the end. 10 out of 10. Level 7 gives you a new body, a smaller, lighter, and faster one. This will help you with the course to come, as for this one, you have to traverse a map via parkour. Now, if you've watched my last video, you know if there's one thing I'm shit at, it's parkour. When it works, it makes you feel like the coolest person on Earth, but half the time, this avatar decides to do whatever the fuck she wants and throws herself off a cliff. Please. Not to mention, I really hadn't mastered the mantling mechanic yet, so every time I was faced with a ledge, I did this. However, once you get used to it, the gameplay really starts to flow, and you end up miming out actions as if you were falling in real life, making you look like a fucking psychopath with a microwave strapped to your head to anyone that happens to walk into your room. This one did cause me a bit of pain, but to be honest, it really wasn't that bad. I'm just being hyperbolic. It's a lot of fun once you get into it, and I think on New Game Plus, playing through this one again will be a lot better, because I know the mechanics better. Remember when I said level 6 was the best level in the entire game? Well, I was lying, because that's actually level 8, which is the same thing, but you're massive, and you beat up skeletons for a living. The real joy here comes from the bodies the game gives you to switch between, which is one of its most impressive aspects. You feel like a tank being able to throw people around, and messing about in Sandbox with this body was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. I think that's everyone. Anyway, this level introduces you to this body and the mechanics it comes with, and my only complaint is that it's just a little too short. You're tasked with defending a pillar in the middle from skeletons and zombies, and they don't really come for that long. It's pretty easy, which I'm okay with, but the runtime just isn't really there for this one. I wish it was longer, but other than that, perfection. Talk about contrast, because level 9 gave me depression. You get put in the body of this little dickhead who I will never inhabit again for the rest of my life. I walked out the entryway thinking, oh wow, and how naive I was. What starts as a low-gravity fun adventure turns into 17 hours of wandering around in a dull abyss, while everything around you merges into the same shade of bloody grey. I spent so long wandering here trying to find the exit, even though I'd studied the map at the start of the level and thought I was fine. When I finally found it, I spent 17 minutes trying to get this little fucking gremlin man I was controlling to stand up straight and just get on there. All the while, this music was on loop in my brain. Oh my god. Did I ask? Did I honestly ask? Oh mate, no, okay. Fucking hell, man. Oh, I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm. I'm not going forward when I jump. Oh my god. Okay, let's not fumble this now. And I fumbled it. And we've jumped. Oh my god. Never again. Sure, you can go fuck yourself. Never again. Never again. How long did I spend doing that? Like 5 minutes straight trying to get up that one bit. Jesus fucking Christ. Never again. Level 3 is another quick one. You do 3 laps around a track in a go-kart, which sounds like fun. And it is, but the minecart issue persisted here too, so every tiny movement I made in the real world made my character have a spasm, and only fixed itself when I stood up, which again isn't the most immersive thing. Anyway, once I'd resolved it, it wasn't too bad, except crashing made me feel incredibly ill. I would still do this level 5 times over instead of the last one though, so yeah. I'm sure the go-kart mechanics work well once you've mastered them too. I'm just shit at driving. If level 9 gave me depression, level 11 gave me PTSD. I never want to think about this one as long as I live because it's genuinely awful. You've probably seen a lot of comments online about this if you've been following the game, and they're not lying. This is the only part of the game that I would wholeheartedly not recommend to anyone. Like, my hand is now stuck in the fucking wall. It involves you using the physics system to climb to the top of a pillar, while you take damage from these birds that hit you and change your body to a random one if they make contact, meaning you'll be trying to climb up while turning from an 11-foot behemoth to a 5-foot anime girl. You can shoot these birds to stop this process, but reloading with the tool character with massive hands is one of the hardest things I've ever done. This one actually made me quit on my first time doing it, and I never want to speak of it again, so let's move on to a much better level. Let's go! This one just involves you having another conversation with Big Jimmy, and then being sent back to the Bonelab hub, so we'll move on to the next level and skip it because nothing really happens. Level 13 is a mix of everything. There's puzzle solving, killing skeletons, more killing skeletons, some shooting of red and purple people, some really fun parkour, and... hang on. What's that?
Oh! You again!
Yeah, go on.
No! Fucking son of a bitch!
Anyway, you crawl through some disgusting pipes, murder some more innocents, and then use this amazing gravity tech to cross a huge gap.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hi. Hi.
Overall, this one is definitely the most technically impressive level, as it combines everything you've learned into one, with at least one sequence that anyone can enjoy. It has varied areas, varied enemies, and at the end of it all, it feels final. You escape a moving train by darting in and out of its way, move through some horror-like hallways, and make your way towards the surface. And the final level of this game is about revenge. You turn up to the place where you started and tear your way through the Fantasyland village, bringing justice on those who tried to have you executed. It's got some nice environments and feels more like an epilogue than a finale, which is completely fine by me because that's what it is. Once you're out, you're faced with a lovely hillside with a small windmill. And then the janitor from Little Nightmares appears and takes you into heaven.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
And let me tell you, once being lifted, it's like pretty angelic, but at the start, this was the most terrifying shit I've ever seen. In 3D and real scale, seeing a hand break through the ceiling and come to try and grab you isn't the most fun. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the entire story here of what's going on behind the scenes in Bonelab, simply because I can't really do it justice and I don't know everything. And many other videos will break it down much better than I can. However, I can say that it left me truly wowed by the end. Bonelab has a lot of introspection and heart to it. The last taxi ride with Jimmy truly ties it together. It is something I can't really put into words, but it's something I really felt as I watched the credits roll. Escaping from the nightmare of a lab, but ready to start it all over again. And that, at its core, is Bonelab, an expansive platform for many years to come.
Oh, give me land, lots of land, under starry skies above. Don't fence me in, let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in, let me be by myself in the evening breeze.